lot of people would think they got major shares in this joint. Or famous individuals like movie stars comes to collect. Not that there'll be a time to collect, because chances are this whole thing is going to be a total fucking fiasco. And wealthy businessmen with political connections who ain't just going to roll over and get stiffed when they're done. All of this is nothing compared to the most serious matter at hand. My banking friends in Switzerland tell me this Virginia Hill, this road that Joey A used to fucking pennies her head and heels over. Yeah. The question of stealing. She's pulled off a couple of million loose change for herself to busy a deal.
Lower East Side, Manhattan, 1900. Tenement buildings line narrow streets. Inside, cramped apartments. Russian and Eastern European Jewish families unpack their lives. They fled pogroms. They crossed an ocean. They arrived with nothing. Their children grow up fast. The streets teach them what Ellis Island could not. Arthur Flegenheimer is born in the Bronx in 1902. German Jewish parents. His father abandons the family. The boy turns to the streets. He takes the name Dutch Schultz. No one knows why. By 17, he serves time for burglary. When he walks out, Prohibition has arrived. Benjamin Siegelbaum is born on February 28th, 1906 inches Brooklyn. Ukrainian Jewish immigrants. He grows up poor on the Lower East Side. He is handsome, charming, violent. Other boys call him Bugsy. He hates the name. Men who use it to his face do not live long. Meyer Suchaljansky is born in Grodno, Russian Empire on July 4th, 1902. His family immigrates to New York in 1911. He becomes Meyer Lansky. Small, thin, smart. He does not look like a gangster. That is his advantage. Meyer meets Bugsy on Broome Street in 1918. They are teenagers. They form a gang, the Bugs and Meyer Mob. They steal, they extort, they muscle in on crap games. Italian gangs notice them. Irish gangs try to kill them. They survive. Arnold Rothstein watches from above. He is born in 1882 to respectable German Jewish parents. His father is a businessman. Arnold chooses a different path. By 1919, he is the most powerful gambler in New York. He operates out of Lindy's restaurant on Broadway. Politicians come to him, gangsters come to him. He lends them money. He teaches them how to think big. October 1st, 1919, Cincinnati, Ohio. The Chicago White Sox face the Cincinnati Reds in the World Series. 8 White Sox players accept bribes. They throw games. The scandal rocks baseball. Arnold Rothstein's name surfaces. He denies involvement. No charges stick, but everyone knows he is the man who fixed the World Series. The Volstead Act takes effect. The 18th Amendment becomes law. Alcohol is now illegal in the United States. The decision changes everything. Legitimate businessmen lose their licenses. Criminals see opportunity. Arnold Rothstein moves first. He organizes the importation of Canadian whiskey. He finances operations. He does not get his hands dirty. He is the banker, the brain. Young Jewish gangsters work under him. Irving Wexler, known as Waxy Gordon, Louis Buchalter, called Lepka, Meyer Lansky, Bugsy Siegel, Arthur Flegenheimer. New York becomes a battlefield. Italian gangs control certain territories, Irish gangs control others. Jewish gangs carve out their own space. Sometimes they fight, sometimes they cooperate. The money is too good to let ethnic differences matter. Dutch Schultz takes over beer distribution in the Bronx. He muscles out rivals, he pays off police, he earns thousands per week, then tens of thousands. He expands into the numbers racket, illegal lottery games in Harlem and the Bronx. He becomes rich, he becomes feared. Meyer Lansky and Bugsy Siegel work differently. They are partners, they think strategically, they see the future. In 1929, Lansky meets Charles Lucky Luciano, an Italian gangster on the rise. The two men recognize something in each other. They speak the same language. Not Italian, not Yiddish, the language of money and power. February 14th, 1929, Chicago. Al Capone's men massacre 7 members of the Bugs Moran gang in a garage. The Street Valentine's Day Massacre shocks the nation. Federal authorities intensify their pursuit of gangsters. Capone goes to prison in 1931 for tax evasion. The message is clear. The government cannot catch you for murder, but they will catch you for taxes. Atlantic City and New York. Organized crime leaders meet. Italians, Jews, a few Irish. They discuss territories. They discuss rules. They form what journalists later call the National Crime Syndicate. Charles Luciano becomes chairman. Meyer Lansky serves as his right hand. The syndicate creates the Commission, a ruling body of crime families. 5 New York families. Families in Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, Kansas City. The syndicate also creates an enforcement arm, a group of killers on call, mostly Jewish and Italian, based in Brooklyn, led by Louis Lepke Buchalter and Albert Anastasia. The newspapers call them Murder Incorporated. Murder Incorporated operates from a candy store in Brownsville, Brooklyn. Abe Relis, known as Kid Twist, is one of their top killers. Martin Goldstein, Harry Strauss, called Pittsburgh Phil. These men do not kill for passion, they kill for business. They receive contracts, they fulfill contracts, they are paid. Estimates suggest they kill between 4 to 100 and 1 to 1,000 people during the 1930s. The operation is efficient. A boss in one city needs someone eliminated. He contacts the syndicate. Murder Incorporated sends men who are not known in that city. They kill, they leave. No connections, no evidence. Louis Lepke Buchalter runs the labor rackets. He controls unions, garment industry, trucking, bakeries. He orders strikes. He orders beatings. He orders murders. He operates from the shadows. By the mid-1930s, he is one of the most powerful gangsters in America. Abner Longy Zwillman rises in New Jersey. Born July 27, 1904 inches, Newark to Jewish immigrants. Tall, strong. The nickname is Longy. He controls bootlegging across the state. He partners with Lucky Luciano and Meyer Lansky. His trucks move Canadian whiskey down the eastern seaboard. He makes millions. In Newark, he is respected. He helps Jewish families. He fights Nazi sympathizers. In the late 1930s, the German-American Bund holds rallies in New Jersey. Zwillman organizes Jewish gang members to break them up. They do. The rallies stop. Mickey Cohen is born September 4th, 1913 in Brooklyn, another Jewish kid from immigrant parents. He moves to Los Angeles as a child. He becomes a boxer, then a gangster. In 1939, Bugsy Siegel sends for him. Mickey becomes his bodyguard, his enforcer, his partner in West Coast operations. Bugsy Siegel arrives in California in 1937. The syndicate sends him. They want control of racing wire services, betting operations, union rackets. Siegel charms Hollywood. He dates movie stars. He dines in expensive restaurants. He wears tailored suits. He looks like a celebrity. He is a killer. December 26th, 1946, Las Vegas, Nevada. The Flamingo Hotel opens on the desert highway known as the Strip. Bugsy Siegel stands at the entrance. This is his dream. A luxury casino in the middle of nowhere. He poured syndicate money into construction. Cost overruns plague the project. The budget spirals. His partners in New York grow impatient. The grand opening is troubled. Bad weather grounds flights. Celebrities do not show. The casino opens anyway. Jimmy Durante performs. Xavier Cugat's band plays. Some gamblers arrive. They win. The house loses. Within 2 weeks, Siegel closes the hotel. He reopens it in March 1947. This time, business improves, but the damage is done. Meyer Lansky, his childhood friend, cannot protect him. The syndicate has rules, money missing, cost overruns, disrespect. On June 20th, 1947, Bugsy Siegel sits in Virginia Hills' Beverly Hills mansion. A gunman fires through the window, 9 shots. 2 bullets hit Siegel in the head. He dies instantly. He is 41 years old. No one is ever arrested. Mickey Cohen takes over Los Angeles operations. He survives 11 assassination attempts over the next decade. Bombs, drive-by shootings, ambushes in restaurants, he walks away every time. He becomes a media sensation. He grants interviews. He appears in newspapers. He is the gangster as celebrity. Back east, law enforcement closes in on Murder Incorporated. In 1940, Abe Reles is arrested for murder. He faces execution, he makes a choice, he turns informant, he provides details on more than 70 killings. He describes methods, locations, names. His testimony sends several Murder Incorporated members to the electric chair. May v. 40, Brooklyn. Abe Reles gives a 4-hour confession to prosecutors. He admits to 6 murders personally. He describes dozens more committed by others. He names Louis Lepke, Buchhalter. He names Albert Anastasia. He names Martin Goldstein, Harry Strauss, Harry Mayoni. The authorities call him the canary who could sing. His testimony breaks Murder Incorporated. March 4th, 1944, Sing Sing Prison, New York. Louis Lepke Buchhalter enters the execution chamber. He is the highest-ranking mobster ever executed in the United States. He goes to the electric chair for the murder of Joseph Rosen, a Brooklyn candy store owner. At 11:16 p.m., the switch is thrown, Lepke is dead. Emmanuel Mendy Weiss and Louis Capone, no relation to Al Capone, are executed the same night. 3 men, 3 jolts from Old Sparky. The era of Murder Incorporated ends in the electric chair. But Abe Reles never testifies against Albert Anastasia. On November 12, 1941, Reles is under police protection in the Half Moon Hotel in Coney Island. 6 police officers guard him. In the early morning, Reles falls from a 6th-floor window. He dies on impact. The official story is suicide. No one believes it. The newspapers call it the canary who could sing but couldn't fly. The investigation goes nowhere. Dutch Schultz meets his end earlier. October 23rd, 1935. Palace Chop House, Newark, New Jersey. Schultz sits in the back room with 3 associates. 2 gunmen enter, Charles Workman and Emmanuel Weiss. They open fire. Schultz's men die quickly. Schultz takes a bullet to the abdomen. He stumbles to the bathroom. He collapses. Ambulances arrive. He's taken to Newark City Hospital. He undergoes surgery. For 22 hours, he drifts in and out of consciousness. He speaks in fragments, delirium. Police stenographers record his words. They make no sense. At 8:35 p.m. on October 24th, Dutch Schultz dies. He is 33 years old. The murder was sanctioned by the Syndicate. Schultz had wanted to kill Thomas Dewey, the ambitious district attorney prosecuting gangsters. The Syndicate said no. Killing a prosecutor would bring too much heat. Schultz planned to do it anyway, so they killed him first. Meyer Lansky outlasts them all. He avoids arrest, he avoids prosecution, he moves money, he invests in legitimate businesses, he opens casinos in Cuba under Fulgencio Batista. When Fidel Castro takes power at 8:35 p.m. on October 24th, 1959, Lansky loses millions. He moves operations to the Bahamas, to London, to Las Vegas. He becomes the financial genius of organized crime. The FBI investigates him for decades. They find nothing that sticks. Waxy Gordon is not so lucky. By 1932, he controls beer distribution along the eastern seaboard. He partners with Max Hassel and Max Greenberg. They import Canadian liquor. They brew beer in Pennsylvania breweries. They distribute to New York, Philadelphia, New Jersey. Waxy Gordon makes millions, but he spends millions. Fancy cars, expensive suits, mansions. The government notices. In 1933, Thomas Dewey prosecutes Gordon for tax evasion. The trial lasts weeks. The jury convicts him. He is sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. When he is released, Prohibition has ended. His empire is gone. He tries to restart. He fails. In 1951, he is arrested for selling narcotics. In 1952, he dies of a heart attack in Alcatraz prison. He is 64 years old. Prohibition ends December 5th, 1933. The 21st Amendment repeals the 18th. Alcohol is legal again. The bootlegging empires collapse overnight. But the gangsters do not disappear. They move into other rackets: gambling, narcotics, labor unions, loan sharking, extortion. The Jewish gangsters who built the underworld in the 1920s adapt. Meyer Lansky invests in Las Vegas. After Bugsy Siegel's death, Lansky and his partners take control of the Flamingo. It becomes profitable. Other casinos follow. The Sands, the Desert Inn, the Stardust. Jewish mobsters own or have interests in many of them. They work alongside Italian families. The Syndicate operates smoothly. Lansky travels frequently. In the 1950s and 1960s, he divides his time between Miami Beach and Havana. He becomes the financial advisor to multiple crime families. He launders money. He invests in legitimate businesses. He is meticulous. He keeps no records. He trusts no one completely. In 1970, facing federal indictment for tax evasion and money skimming, Meyer Lansky flees to Israel. He arrives in Tel Aviv with his wife Thelma. He invokes the law of return. Any Jew can immigrate to Israel. He applies for citizenship. Israeli authorities are torn. Lansky is Jewish, but he is also a mobster. The Israeli government debates for 2 years. Public pressure mounts. The United States demands extradition. On September 11th, 1972, the Israeli Supreme Court denies Lansky's citizenship application. He is ordered to leave. He flies to South America. No country will take him. He returns to Miami. In 1973, he stands trial for tax evasion. The government's case is weak. He is acquitted. He lives quietly in Miami Beach until his death on January 15th, 1983. He is 80 years old. The FBI estimates he was worth hundreds of millions. His family claims he died nearly broke. Mickey Cohen survives into the 1960s. In 1951, he is convicted of tax evasion. He serves 4 years. Released in 1955, he returns to Los Angeles. In 1961, he is convicted again, this time for tax evasion on unreported income. He is sentenced to 15 years. He serves most of it in Alcatraz. On August 14th, 1963, Cohen is in the Alcatraz recreation yard. Another inmate, Burl Estes McDonald, attacks him with a lead pipe. 3 blows to the head. Cohen survives, but the injuries leave him partially paralyzed. He is transferred to a federal medical facility. Released in 1972, he spends his final years confined to a wheelchair. He dies in his sleep on July 29th, 1976. He is 62 years old. Longee Zwillman's end is quieter. By the 1950s, law enforcement intensifies investigations. Senate hearings on organized crime put pressure on old guard mobsters. In 1959, Zwillman is scheduled to testify before a grand jury. On February 26, 1959, he is found dead in the basement of his West Orange, New Jersey mansion. He is hanging from a plastic-coated wire attached to a ceiling pipe. The medical examiner rules it suicide. Associates doubt it. Theories circulate. Was it murder disguised as suicide, or did Zwillman take his own life to avoid prison and humiliation? The truth dies with him. He is 54 years old. The Jewish gangsters of the early 20th century left an indelible mark on American organized crime. They were not the first criminals, but they were among the most innovative. They created national networks. They cooperated across ethnic lines. They modernized the underworld. Arnold Rothstein taught them to think like businessmen. Meyer Lansky taught them financial discipline. Bugsy Siegel taught them to dream big. Dutch Schultz taught them ruthlessness. Louis Lepke taught them the value of organization and enforcement. Together, they built the infrastructure that the Mafia would inherit. Most of them died violently, shot in restaurants, executed in electric chairs, beaten in prison yards. A few, like Meyer Lansky, lived long lives and died of natural causes. But their legacy endured. The casinos in Las Vegas, the methods of money laundering, the cooperation between crime families, the National Crime Syndicate. These were their inventions. By the 1960s, the original generation was gone. Their children did not follow them into the life. They became doctors, lawyers, businessmen. The Jewish gangster became a historical curiosity, a chapter in American crime that closed. The Italian Mafia dominated the headlines. The Jewish mobsters faded into memory. But in their time, they were kings. They controlled cities. They corrupted politicians. They defied the law for decades. They built empires from nothing. They came from tenements and sweatshops and emerged as millionaires. They lived by the gun, and most of them died by it.